Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip and Shannon, let's debate. August 26th is officially the date for the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight. McGregor tweeted, "The fight is on," with an image of Floyd Sr. attached. Dana White said the deal was finalized Wednesday morning and gave the details of the fight on UFC Tonight. Let's take a listen.
It's done. It's going to be 12 rounds. It will be August 26th at the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. And then they're going to wear 10-ounce gloves, 154 pounds, boxing ring. Mayweather Promotions will build the undercard. It will be a boxing event. Showtime is the, they have a deal with Floyd. So I'm trying to throw all the information I can at you. That's about it. Yeah, it's definitely the biggest fight ever in combat sports history and probably going to be the biggest payday ever. Let's just put it this way. All sides involved are pretty happy with their deals and ready to fight on August 26th. Conor McGregor will go into that ring. He will go after Floyd Mayweather, and he will try to knock him out. So hopefully that makes for a great, stylistic fight, and it ends up being good. And if that's the case, then the money is just, the money's part of the deal. If you're a fight fan, that's the guy you want to follow. That's the guy you want to see fight. That's the guy you'll stay home for on Saturday night and put your money down for. So I believe in this kid. I don't doubt him anymore, what he's capable of doing. This is the fight that he wanted, so we're making it happen.
Skip, give me an early prediction.
First of all, people can laugh at this quote-unquote fight all they want, but I will predict that Conor McGregor is going to have the last laugh the night of August the 26th, because I believe that Floyd Mayweather Jr., at age 40 and a half years of age, should we call him Floyd Sr. now? Because that's what Conor's been calling him.
Stop being disrespectful, Skip.
You know what? He is going to get hit and hurt more than he has ever been hit and hurt. And I believe that for the first time ever, the greatest defensive fighter in the history of this sport will get a little confused by a Conor McGregor who's a left-hander who's very naturally fights righty. He'll go back and forth, and you'll just see Floyd look like, wait a minute, is he southpaw or no, is he straight? I don't know what he's doing to me now. And I would love to say that Conor would punish him for 12 rounds, because you know what's going to happen. Floyd's going to duck and run. He's going to go from corner to corner to corner, and Conor McGregor is relentless. He is not afraid of Floyd because he knows Floyd can't hurt him or knock him out. That's laughable. And so I would like...
Goliath thought that too.
Yeah.
No way can David hurt me.
Yeah. Wait, now we got a David Goliath?
I'm just saying, Skip. I'm just saying.
So I would love to say that Floyd would get punished over 12 rounds the way he's never been punished. But you know and I know, I cannot have this go into the hands of the judges, because the judges are boxing judges who are going to protect the sport of boxing, which we all know is dying. And if it gets to the decision level, Conor McGregor has no shot, because they're not only going to protect the sport of boxing, but they're going to protect their Las Vegas cash cow, who is Floyd Mayweather Jr. So it's going to have to be by knockout. One big left-handed punch will catch Floyd. I'm going to say it'll be in the 10th round, and will knock him cold for the first time in his life. He will wind up 49-1 with the blemish on his legacy that he lost to some MMA fighter. It will be the ultimate humiliation for Floyd Money Mayweather. Yeah. Laugh. Go ahead and laugh.
Just one big laugh. Did you see him standing there looking like Frankenstein? Which way? I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna throw this left. Look at it coming, Floyd. Here comes the right. Floyd see them punches getting out of his car in the parking lot. Take him so long to snap. He can't snap a punch like Floyd.
No, that's not what I've been seeing.
I don't want Floyd. Floyd's gonna win a decision. And you know why he wants to win a decision? Because he want to punish him. I don't want Conor McGregor to take the easy way out. Because, see, if Floyd lump him up and knock him out in 2 rounds, I'm mad. Punish him, Floyd. You remember Friday, Skip? What did Smokey say? That's my dog. That's my dog gonna be giving it to Conor. What's his name? Money. What's his name? You tweeting all these pictures. You got everybody key. Oh, Skip.
Senior.
Yeah, he's senior.
That was pretty clever.
Now,
you got to give it to him.
Hold on, Skip.
Yeah.
I thought age didn't have anything to do with it. You like, I'm 35. I feel like I'm 35. I run 15. I run a marathon every morning before I come on this show, Joy.
I do, actually.
Enjoy the cosign. You sure do, Skip? You sure
I get up in the morning and work out with him.
You don't do nothing, Joy.
I didn't see you in the fitness center this morning.
I got in late.
You got in late.
I got in late. I got delayed. My flight run out of gas.
Okay.
We had to stop in Omaha and refuel. But Skip, you know how this is going to happen. And I want you to stop making excuses already, because when Floyd get this decision, like he always does, it's going to be unanimous. That means every round.
Yeah, if it goes to decision, it will be unanimous, and Conor will lose, and it will be rigged because it was rigged from the start.
Hold on, first of all. So you mean to tell me a guy's going to take a fight that he knows going to rig, he has no chance of winning?
No,
why would he do that?
Because he thinks he can knock him out.
No,
That's
because
why.
he want that money. He need that money.
Oh.
He need a pay. I keep telling you, Skip. Floyd Mayweather just won the lottery. But what Conor doesn't understand, he's the winning ticket. He think he about to win. But I tell you what, Skip, it's a nice party, consolation gift. 100 mil, 125 mil, Joy. It's going to be hard for him to go back and fight Combat Sports. I mean, you got $125 million. You in an ivory tower with silk bathrobes, and now you won't have to front anymore. You can really buy you a Rolls Royce. You had that rental over there in Ireland. Don't think we didn't know about it. Floyd don't rent nothing. Did you see that custom family we had with the chinchilla carpet? Do you know how much a chinchilla carpet costs, Skip? With Hermes bag, with a private jet. With an Audemars, we call it AP, Audemars jet. You got a 44-millimeter Patek Philippe.
So
iced out.
He didn't have enough money, right? Money didn't have enough money.
Skip.
So he's going to risk his legacy against this MMA fighter, the baddest man on the planet.
Skip, who can possibly have enough money? You can never have enough. I want to hear the one person that's ever said, man, I got too much money. I don't need none of this money here. Just start throwing it out. I don't need no more of that money. People have a lot of everything, but you can't have enough money. And Floyd about to get 500 more million to beat up some stiff. Oh, he got to
make sure
he got
Conor
power.
hears
He got power in both hands.
He does, ambidextrous. Yeah.
You see that, Joy? Okay, here goes Skip. Here come the right. And by that time, pop, pop. You see that?
Little mosquito bites. Mosquito bites.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that? Wait, did he just hit me, or maybe I just imagined?
Hey, and guess what, Skip? He looked like he got pseudo-freakalitis. All them bumps on him. He razor bumps.
Bumps?
Yeah.
Did you see Pacquiao after 12 rounds with Mayweather? He looked like he'd been to a picnic. You know it, and I know it.
Well, it looked like he must have had something bad. Because he had it because he was like, what happened? Yeah. What happened, man?
He went back to his hotel room and played chess with Joy, actually. I think Joy was there, right?
I won.
Yeah.
Skip. See, what you're trying to do is you're trying to set the stage that when Floyd wins, it was rigged from the start.
Well, you know it will be if it gets to decision. What are boxing judges? You think they're going to award the MMA fight?
Hold on, Skip. You just said the man hadn't knocked anybody out since 1999.
That is correct.
But, 1999, that's almost 20 years ago. So Floyd is 20. 40.
22.
No,
yeah. It's 18 years ago.
Yeah. So now all of a sudden he's going to possess more power at 40 than he had at 22?
I don't get your point. So
why you
he can't hurt Conor.
What do you mean?
He can powder puff him a little bit. He can patty cake him in the face. Let's play patty cake. Patty cake. What's that go? Baker's man. Yeah.
Tell Conor to walk through him. Everybody talking about he can't punch. He can't hurt me. But I don't see nobody walk through his punches. Shane Mosley didn't.
Well, I haven't seen him fight for 3 years.
Don't worry about it. You about to see him fight. He ain't going to. This is like a sparring session.
Oh, okay.
Fighting Frankenstein, wide base, hands up here like this here.
Base.
Floyd going, ooh.
So Floyd takes him all the way?
Well, hey, how many fingers I got up?
Yeah.
Cut me.
Is that your prediction, Shannon?
Huh?
Floyd in 12? Goes to decision?
12 rounds.
Unanimous.
Go ahead, pick it. I want to hear you predict a Floyd knockout. Have some guts. Have the courage of your convictions.
Well,
lay it on the table. Bet me a case of dew on a knockout by Floyd, may or may not weather.
First of all, on my vacation, I'm going to go to Vegas, and I'm going to go see what he's been doing. Because, see, this is what I know, Skip. It would be hard for me to believe that I believe Floyd had wanted this fight for the better part of a year and a half. So it would be hard for me to believe that he has not been practicing against other MMA fighters because they're unorthodox. They don't fight in conditional.
That is correct.
So I can assure you that Floyd Mayweather has covered all his bases. Don't worry about it. We got plenty of time. August, that's like 10 weeks away. 10 weeks. I don't need to put out what's going to happen.
So you're going to go train with Floyd.
No.
Well, teach him how to knock somebody out. You can do that. Come on.
No, I want him to hurt him. See, if you knock
Shannon
somebody
doesn't
out, that's a
box
cheat
anymore,
weight.
Skip. He was doing it for a little while, and then it was too
Skip,
tough for him.
one time I was growing up, Skip, I cold cocked the dude, and he went to sleep. I woke him up. Don't sleep on the job. You try to take the easy way out. I woke him up, Skip. Get some
That
more
doesn't
than
sound
pain.
like a
Knock
real
him down
story.
again?
Yeah. He asked for it.
Wow.
Called me out my name. And that's what Conor McGregor tweeting pictures of the man's dad. You know that's not Floyd Jr. That's Floyd Sr.
Are you
Being
sure?
disrespectful. But
I haven't seen Floyd in a
don't
while.
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Huh?
Don't worry about that.
No mercy.
The Vertical's Adrian Wojnarowski said there is no guarantee LeBron James will re-sign with the Cavs. LeBron has a player option at the end of next season, and Woj said the Cavs feel he could leave again, and the Lakers or the Clippers could be the destination. On the Clippers side, Sports Illustrated is reporting Hall of Famer Jerry West will leave his role as advisor with the Warriors for a similar role with the Clippers. Shannon, can you see LeBron leaving for LA?
I don't. I believe this was a ploy to keep the pressure on Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert, they had a handshake deal that they would spend the maximum amount of money to make sure that LeBron James, the team that was around him, would give him the best opportunity not only to compete, but to win titles. He's always going to keep the pressure because he knows these two teams here. Steve Ballmer is the wealthiest owner in the NBA. Jeannie Buss is now in control of the Lakers, and Magic Johnson. He knows it takes money to make money. Magic Johnson knows what he was surrounded with when he was playing in Showtime Lakers. He had a Kareem, a Jamal Wilkes, a James Worthy, a Bob McAdoo. So he knows that these two teams will spend money. He has a home in Beverly Hills. Skip, I don't believe. Why would you go to? First of all, going to the Lakers, Skip, really? Do you know what's out there in the West? There's a team that's like that's a 5-6 hour drive up in Oakland. That's in the West.
There's also that team down in San Antonio. Thank you.
Yeah,
you were going to say it.
No. Okay, I give you that, Skip.
Yep.
But let me ask you, why would I'm going to leave Kyrie Irving in his prime to go join D'Angelo Russell, to join Chris Paul, who can't stay healthy, who hasn't been healthy since 2015, and then that year he got hurt in the playoffs? Is that what I'm going to do? No, Skip. This is all about leverage. And LeBron James has it. He says, look, I appreciate what you've done thus far, but going to the finals and losing in 5 games is not good enough. I need more, and I need you to know that Now, he said he was coming back to deliver a title. He delivered on that promise a lot sooner maybe than a lot of people anticipated, maybe even than he anticipated. He's saying, Dan Gilbert, I don't know what you want your legacy to be. Maybe you're fine not being a Dr. Buss. Maybe you're fine without being a Red Auerbach. But for me, I'm judged by titles, and I want more of them. And if you're not going to be willing to give me what I need as far as players and spending that luxury tax, I got to hit you with the deuces and roll up out of here.
So, but you're projecting he'll stay in Cleveland, right? That's your bottom line. Your gut feeling is he's going to stay.
I don't believe he'll leave after 2018. No, I do not, Skip. Especially when they go get Paul George.
I hear you, and that's got high possibility. But I also think the odds dramatically increased yesterday or early this morning when the story broke that LeBron will wind up with the Clippers 1 year from now because Jerry West wound up with the Clippers. And there are certain people in sports I tell you I don't bet against, and that man is one of them because almost everywhere he's been, great things have happened. Great things did not happen in Memphis, though he did turn around the franchise. But he drafted Kobe Bryant. He had the vision to draft him. He went and acquired Shaq. He got him out of Orlando and got him to Los Angeles.
Yes.
And you can't tell me that he didn't have huge impact on Golden State because reportedly he talked them out of trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love.
Yep.
So that was huge because he was arguing, no, you need his defensive prowess.
Yes.
to complement Steph. Like they're perfect complements,
Right.
1 and 1A in the
Right.
backcourt, and obviously the best shooting backcourt ever. So he will start to change life with the Clippers. I don't know if he wants to keep Chris Paul or let him go to San Antonio. I have no idea how that's going to play out. But I just promise you, good to great things will continue to happen for the Clippers thanks to Jerry West. And it will increase the odds that LeBron will open his eyes and say, aha, maybe something is happening there. Maybe I should go there because I think LeBron wants to go there and join some of his banana boat friends. I don't know if that's all going to work. They're all going to be awfully old.
Yeah.
It's just awfully old. But if LeBron wants a shot at maximizing another ring potential, it would be with Jerry West to me and not with whoever's left in Cleveland.
Paul George, Kyrie, and LeBron James will win 68 games in the chip if that were to happen. Now, we know Steve.
And the chip?
And the chip. What part about that didn't you get?
Well, Kyrie and LeBron, period, end of story, standing pat will win the East next year. But with George Paul or Paul George, either one, you're not going to win the West. I mean, beat the winner of the West.
They will win at least with Paul George, Kyrie, and LeBron. They will win at least 68 games. They will win the NBA title in 2018. What part about that? Now, Skip, we know.
So, wait a second. You just predicted this team is going to win 68 games by adding one player, and that's the same team that finished out this past year, 23-23 over their last 46 games. Whew, boy, that's a big – that means that George Paul is going to add, what, like 20 wins? Or
Yep.
Right? Almost.
First of all, he's a better defender than Kevin Love. He's a better three-point shooter than Kevin Love.
I'll give you he's a little upgrade.
He's a better defender. And at some point in time, that's what you need. You need guys that he can give go at Kevin Durant. LeBron can have a break. Then LeBron can go at him. If they add him, now, Kevin Love.
In place of Kevin Love, so you'd have to trade him, right?
Kevin Love and Sean. They got to go.
They got to go?
Yeah,
You've given up on them already.
Yeah, they got to
Okay.
go. I mean, look, the thing is, and I like Kevin Love, Skip, but it seems like the bigger the moment, the more he shrinks. When there's no expectation, where there's nothing expected of him,
I tried to tell you that.
He makes 6 of 8. But in Game 5, he couldn't throw it in the ocean from the middle of the boat. So with that being said, Skip, we're going to get Paul George, and we're going to be back in action. Bron going to win 68 games. He's going to be 4-5, and guess what we'll be talking about next year?
Is he again going to lead the NBA in minutes played per game?
No, because we got Paul George.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Kai.
So I remind you, now LeBron has played 50,401 total minutes in his
look like
NBA
he's slowing
career
down to you?
14 years.
Does he
Yes,
look like
it
he's
did.
slowing down to you?
Boy, he sure slowed down in Game 3 and Game 5 to me.
Oh, the man
slowed way down.
The first man in NBA history to average a triple-double for the finals.
Yep.
Now,
What was the score of the finals? Help me out.
They lost, Skip.
4-1?
Hold on, Skip. Magic Johnson and Kareem got swept twice.
Well, Magic pulled his hamstring, so did Byron Scott.
Not in '83 when the Sixers swept him. He didn't pull nothing. He didn't pull nothing. Okay. Now Larry Bird got swept in the Eastern Conference by the Milwaukee Bucks. Can you tell me how many players from that Milwaukee team is in the Hall of Fame? But I don't even want to go there. Shaq and Kobe lost
This
4.
is so weak and so lame.
Skip,
Yeah.
just bear with me, Skip. I don't want to take too much of your time.
Yeah.
I'm just here for a few
Wait,
short
are you
minutes.
still trying to convince me LeBron's better than Michael Jordan? Are you still trying to go there?
The Lakers with Shaq and Kobe in their prime lost 4-1 to the Detroit Pistons. I want you to tell me how many of those Pistons will be in the Hall of Fame.
They all should be.
I'm not talking about what should happen. I should have went to a D1 school, but my grades wouldn't allow me to happen.
Now that you brought it up, LeBron has lost 4-1 twice, and the other time was by a record finals margin. And he also had the biggest superstar meltdown in the history of superstars in 2011 against the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals.
Okay, what about 1984? When Magic Johnson called timeout with a 2-point lead, and then he shot an air ball at the end. So, and what did they dub Magic Johnson after that final, Skip?
Tragic. And then what did he do the next year?
Wow!
What did he do?
After that 2011 meltdown, what did LeBron do in 2012, 2013?
He got saved by Ray Allen. Yeah, he did. He got saved.
Skip, don't do me like this.
You know what? He melted down right on schedule against my Spurs down the stretch of Game 6. 3 shockingly uncharacteristic turnovers. Maybe they're characteristic turnovers. Wow. 3, and then he missed the tying three-pointer?
Okay,
wow.
You know what? Hold on.
But they'd called to play.
Okay.
He's going to miss it so badly, LeBrick it so badly, it's going to go a long rebound to Bosch, who's going to kick it to a wide-open Ray in the corner, who's going to drain it at the buzzer and force overtime. Way to go,
Skip,
LeBron.
My memory.
Brilliant.
I didn't take my ginkgo this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me who was the regular season
MVP? You take ginkgo?
Yeah. Can you tell me who was the regular season MVP in 2012 and 2013?
I don't even care.
Skip, I ask you a question
I don't care. It's not germane to this argument.
Hold on, okay, how about this here? Who was the MVP finals in 2012 and 2013?
Yeah. Then what happened in 2014?
Skip!
What happened?
I don't know. You don't know, I don't know.
They lost in 5 by a record margin to the San Antonio Spurs? Really? The old, slow, boring broccoli Spurs?
Yes, LeBron is one.
Wow.
LeBron James is 1-2 in the last 3 years in NBA Finals, and all he's averaging is 33 points, 12 rebounds, and 9.6.
Yep. Did you like the way LeBron closed out Game 3 this year?
He had 39, 12, and 9. 39, 12, and 9.
His team got outscored 11-0 over the final 3 minutes of Game 3 at home in the King's Palace. How do you do that?
Has LeBron not been the best player? With every finals he's been in, with the exception of maybe 2011, Skip, he was the best player on the court.
He was the best player on this court this year, and he lost in 5 because he came up small a couple times.
Yeah, one player ain't beating 2 of the top 3 and 4 of the top 15.
Yeah.
That's not happening, Skip.
So when they gave up that 36-11 run in the second quarter of Game 5, where was LeBron? Was he averaging a triple-double in that stretch? No, he took 2 shots and made 1.
Okay.
Where was that?
Okay, so what was Steph Curry? So who had Steph Curry?
Who had him?
Yeah, who's guarding him?
I don't know. Who's guarding LeBron? I mean, Kevin Durant. Sometimes LeBron.
Well, Kevin Durant should have been on the bench for that foul. That was a foul. Because remember,
I'll give you that.
Kevin Love did the same foul on Kevin Durant. Kevin Love did.
Yep.
They called a flagrant, and they gave him the ball.
So that was the reason LeBron just quit for that 9-minute stretch.
Skip, don't do that, Skip.
Well, they just quit. They quit playing.
They didn't quit, Skip.
Yeah, they
Stop.
did.
No,
36-11?
Give the Warriors credit. I mean, see, what you try to do, see, when you go overboard, see, this is what you know what, Skip? You know what I'm trying to start to see about you? You're a chef that when it calls for a little ingredient, you add too much of it, and then when the
I don't cook.
You can't even boil water.
No,
but anyway,
I can't.
all you got to do, Skip, is that give the man credit. They lost, but don't try and diminish. This man averaged 32, 12, and 10, and you trying to say he played terrible.
One of us is honest, and one of us is thoroughly lost in his love for LeBron, but that's okay.
Skip, you my dog. You my favorite car if you don't ever crank.
Yeah.
I'll lie for you.
But you
never lie to you.
They do say love is blind, Skip.
It ain't.
It's okay. It's over.
It's really okay. Woj also said that Miami was a possibility, too. So.
Oh, yeah.
We'll take you back, LeBron.
Retweeted that.
No mercy. This is Undisputed, live from the U.S. Open. Ricky Fowler is your early leader. Here's Ricky with another birdie on 12, his second of the day to get 2 under.
Bang.
It's over, Shannon. You won. You just won a case of Diet Mountain Dew.
Yep.
Because U.S. Opens are just 3 holes long, right? Oh, wait, maybe not.
He should be
Wait, they're
minus 3.
72 holes long.
He should be minus 3.
Wait. Do you know how this works?
I do.
You have to actually play 4 rounds of 18 holes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Right?
I'm sticking with my guy, Ricky.
Are you?
Me and Rick.
You got it now?
Me and Rick.
Yeah?
Me and Rick. I call him Rick.
Do you?
Yep.
You just take the IE off?
Yep. Me and no Ricky. I mean, homeboy, that's what we do. Rick.
Homeboy?
Get at your boy, Rick.
Yeah. Is he from Georgia? I don't remember. He's from California by way of Oklahoma State and Stillwater.
You guys trade fashion advice?
Hello. You went to OU. Why you mention?
I didn't go to OU.
That was your team though. So why you mention the Cowboys?
I don't like them. I really don't.
Thurman,
I love my Dallas Cowboys. I do not love the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Well, Thurman went to Oklahoma State. So did his wife Patty. So I'm riding with the Cowboys.
All right.
Yeah.
Way to go.
All right, well, full coverage of the first round is coming up right after Undisputed here on FS1. Now, let's talk some football. After missing OTAs, Odell Beckham Jr. is back with the Giants. On Tuesday, he showed up wearing cleats covered with the names of several media outlets, with each name either X'd out or covered by the word shh in red ink. Odell was asked yesterday about missing OTAs. Let's take a listen.
I was just out in LA training. I've seen the whole what's it called, a holdout and all that stuff, and I've never really seen it work, so that was never in my mind to, I'm not going to go to OTAs to get a new contract. I don't think that really proves the point, in my opinion. So I was really just out there, you know, really taking that time for myself to reflect on life and value, you know, what's really, really important. And like I said, to grow and mature. And like I said, you could grow you should be growing each and every year, each and every day. You should be growing.
Shannon, what do you make of Beckham's statement?
First of all, I love the cleats. I think for him, it's not so much what's being written, what's being said about him, because 1 minute, you know, and we know what set him off the edge when he got into it with Josh Norman. Josh Norman questioned his sexuality, and then that set him over the edge. And 1 minute you question his sexuality, and then the next minute he's with Iggy Azalea. He's like, so which is it? Whatever the case may be, he is a phenomenal talent. He's the unquestioned best player on that football team, and maybe he was. A part of that is true. I believe he was in L.A. training. I believe he was taking some time to get in touch with himself and realize that there are some things that he needs to change about his football life. But, Skip, this also had something to do, because the only power tool that he has is to hold out during OTAs. The CBA has made it so cost prohibitive for him to miss anything that's mandatory, be it mini camp or training camp. It's $40,000 a day. Odell Beckham's going to make $1.8 million from the Giants. At $40,000 a day, Skip, it won't take long for him to be playing for free. Now, if I'm Odell Beckham Jr., this is how I'm going to play it. He said, I see what y'all going to do. Now, if I wasn't performing, y'all would release me because you say I'm not living up to the contract. Now, I've exceeded this contract, and you don't want to pay me. So I know what you're going to do. You're going to pick up my fifth-year option. And you might make me play that out. And then when I play that out, because I'm going to drop another 90 catches for 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns, I'm going to go to the Pro Bowl again, and then you're probably going to franchise me. You might franchise me again. But even after you do all of that, guess what, Skip? I'm still only going to be 27 years old, not even in my prime. So this is how I'm going to do you. Since you played me to the left, Giants, I'm going to play you to the right. Now, the New York State income tax is like 8.8%, so we just rounded up to 9. California is 13%, Skip. But if I'm Odell Beckham.
I know. I just moved from New York to California.
Hey, tell me about it. Yeah, I went from Georgia. So, Skip, this is how I'm going to do it. The Odell Beckham tax is 15 to 20%. You know what that Julio Jones money that they just gave him in 2015? No, I'm talking about Ernest and Julio Gallo. I'm talking about Don Julio. I'm talking about $100 million. That money that they just gave Antonio Brown, you think I want that?
Oh, so you're talking about Mayweather kind of money.
Yeah. It's going to cost you $100 million. I'm going to be the first $100 million receiver. It doesn't get cheaper. You keep kicking the can down the road, keep being like the Washington team that keep kicking the can down the road with Kirk Cousins. That's okay. I'm going to hit this payday, and I'm going to get every last dime. I'm going to charge you 15 to 20% more. I don't want $1 more than Antonio Brown. I want 15 to 20% more than Antonio Brown, because you make me wait. I'm going to get it one way or the other.
I disagree with almost every point you just made, but I'm going to start out by saying I have never doubted Odell Beckham Jr.'s talent. I also think that his heart is good. He's a good kid at heart.
Yeah.
But I do doubt his makeup, his intangibles, and the direction he is now heading. And I cannot believe you actually liked his cleats. It's nothing but thin-skinned, look at me, I'm going to get back at you because I read and hear everything. In baseball, in the old days, they used to call it rabbit ears. Now he's got internet rabbit ears where he hears everything and reads everything. Yeah. And it goes right into that big heart of his, and it drives them so nuts he's got to put everybody, all the doubters, all the haters, all over his cleats. Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. And then that interview we just saw, I felt like I was watching a Saturday Night Live routine, like a sketch. Like, that's comedy, straight comedy. He's saying he had to take time away from OTAs and away from New York to go out and reflect on life and try to figure out what's really, really important in life.
Be reflective.
A Drake concert or OTAs, which is really more important?
Drake.
Maybe it's the Drake concert. Maybe it's touring Europe with Drake. That's what has real meaning in life. Not going
Hotline Bling.
Yeah, not going to OTAs to try to figure out your new chemistry with obviously your kid that you drafted from Ole Miss and Brandon Marshall, and a quarterback in Eli who threw the 4th most interceptions in all of football last year, all the NFL, tied with Osweiler and Blake Bortles for the 4th most. So you don't think you need to go try to figure that out with your new guys?
If I'm
really?
Odell Beckham, what the hell does Eli throwing interceptions got to do with me?
Maybe timing, maybe just some off-season commitment, some unity, some bonding experience. It's off. You know this. Championships are won in the offseason. We had Jerry Rice on when we were up in Oakland, and he said OTAs were very important to Jerry Rice. Maybe not to Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah.
But Jerry Rice has got more rings than Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah.
So whatever.
And next time you have Jerry on here, y'all want to have a banquet, a athletic banquet for Jerry, y'all do that in the corner. When he come on our show, let's talk about the fact. And first of all, again, I know what Jerry got. I know how many catches. I know how many yards. I know how many touchdowns he got.
You told me he's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. But guess what, Skip?
Guess what?
He the GOAT. He got there first, but I'm still there. We're in the same building. He parked his car in the lot first, but I'm still there.
I think he has his own wing.
No, he ain't got no wing. He in there. He got no wing. He ain't got no wing. I'm in there, my wing, me and Time. I got Time on my wing. So Marshall Falk on my wing.
Yeah,
Richard Dent.
What
Chris
I love
Hamburger.
about this with Odell, he's officially sort of left our planet. He's gone off somewhere else, and people like you are still defending him. I know Chris Carter is very close with him and mentors him, but listen, he's just drifting farther and farther from reality. And what I love about this, obviously I'm a Cowboy fan, and obviously Las Vegas says my Cowboys are favored to win the NFC, while the great Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer, says the Giants are going to win the NFC East. You're saying that the Cowboys are not even going to make the playoffs, and now you're going to have to bet your case of due on Odell Beckham Jr. as he drifts through life trying to discover the real meaning of life out there at the Drake concert or out with Iggy.
You saw that curl? Yeah. You saw that curl? He had that Coming to America, that curl. That thing was winging, and he was talking, and it was just shaking. Joy, wasn't it?
You like it.
Yeah, that curl. I'm like, Odell said, oh, you didn't hear that. I did the field interview. He asked to repeat the question one time. That curl was shaking. He talked every time he talked. That curl moved.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Was that real or Saturday Night?
Yeah, that's real.
I don't know.
That's his real hair.
Really? Okay.
Stop hating on that man, Skip. How about this here? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's mature. He might have the maturity of a 7-year-old. But I know there's not very many receivers that have more catches for more yards and more touchdowns than this young man in his first 3 years. Maybe Randy Moss. That's what, think about it now. So you put Randy Moss in the top 3 all time. You put Jerry Rice in the GOAT. Put T.O.
And guess what? Odell Beckham Jr. followed right in Shannon Sharpe's footsteps to prepare for a playoff game. He went to South Beach and prepped on a yacht.
Stop bringing up old stuff.
It's not old stuff. It's new stuff. It just happened.
No.
The last time we saw the NFL.
Yesterday?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last time they played.
That's
old news?
Yeah,
okay.
Didn't he tell you he was reflecting on what's important to him, and he realized.
Prepped for a playoff game at Lambeau Field by going to a yacht in South Beach? Really?
Yeah.
And you're defending him. You like this.
Didn't he say he was in L.A. training and reflecting?
He was.
Getting in touch with his inner Odell Beckham Jr.
Right.
And he was realizing that being
this is comedy.
Stop,
Yeah.
Skip Bayless. He realized that if I got to play a game in Lambeau Field, I don't need to be on a yacht in Miami with Tim's on. So he was reflecting on the
You can't let go of the Timbs, man. That's what got you.
It's crazy.
Joy.
Now, if he really went Shannon Sharpe style and wore the Timbs with no socks on the yacht,
now that would
now we
really
have
have done
real
it. Yeah.
problems.
Oh, he need to have on some overalls with the strap, one strap off and one of the. See, that's how I used to rock them things. That's the East Coast thing, though, Skip. You know.
I can't believe they let him on that yacht with those shoes.
Stop
You're not
hating,
supposed to
Joey.
have shoes on the boat.
Skip. All I know is Odell Beckham caught a little 5-yard route, went to the house. What did you? Hold on. Didn't the Giants beat y'all twice last year?
Yeah, they did.
They got better.
Yeah.
Did y'all get better? What did y'all do to say y'all
Wait,
got
who
better?
won the division last year? Help me.
Y'all lucked up.
Oh, lucked up and won 11 in a row.
What does Vegas think?
Oh, Skip, you like Vegas. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh.
I was meaning to get it. I was meaning to get to that. You like what Vegas said, the Cowboys. But when Vegas said that the Warriors could beat the Bulls, you didn't like that.
What did I say? I want I get some money on that one. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen.
We're going to get some due. Skip, I'm betting an 18-wheeler of Mountain Dew on Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor.
I've already won an 18-wheeler of Dew from you.
I'm calling Mountain Dew as soon as I said, look, I need you to have a 18-wheeler full of Diet Dew. Outside the arena at T-Mobile with the doors open, because I want everybody to see. I'm passing out Dew. I'm passing out Diet.
On it, and you can give the keys to Skip. No mercy. Well, the LA Times is reporting that the Lakers front office is split on whether to take Lonzo or Josh Jackson with the number 2 pick. Lonzo is reportedly meeting with the Lakers again tomorrow. The draft is a week from tonight. Skip, what does this tell you?
Oh, man. It's perplexing. It concerns me. As you know, Shannon, I'm a big Lonzo fan.
Yes.
I think he's a game changer, once-generation talent, gifted passer. He's going to be 6'7", going on 6'8" by next year. I think he can improve as a three-point shooter when he was still pretty good at that at college, and I think he's developing a mid-range jump shot. But someone or someone's in the Lake organization not sold on Lonzo, and I don't quite understand what's happening. You made a great point last week. What's going on? It can't be a smokescreen because you've got him sitting right in your lap.
Right.
Markelle Fultz, I'm pretty sure, is going to Boston.
Yes.
Unless you're trying to talk Boston out of Lonzo, that's the only thing that could be operating here. Right. Or there's some big conflict going on within the organization. Obviously, Magic is now taking over the Lakers, we think. But is it the Buss family? Is anti-Lonzo? I have no idea. So there's some faction against faction over Lonzo Ball. And one faction that is not sold on his work ethic, they said he was out of shape for his first workout and he's coming back for a second one. That faction is consistently, putting out word, like dropping hints, planting seeds of doubt in Laker Nation because they don't want to take Lonzo Ball. They want everybody to know why they're not taking Lonzo Ball. And then I read that for the first time they talked to Steve Alford's staff at UCLA, and I have never heard so much stock put in an off-season workout heading into a draft.
Right.
I always say it's just like the NFL Combine. So what? It's a track meet. What does the tape tell you? What do your eyes tell you when you watched him actually play basketball? Right. I don't know. Apparently, they're trying to part of the organization is trying to talk itself out of Lonzo Ball. Maybe because of LeVar. Maybe they just don't want LeVar hovering over the operation next year. I don't know, but I don't love it. And my gut feeling is that Magic would be the one who would still hold out to take Lonzo.
Right. Skip, let me ask you a question. You say you're perplexed. Are you perplexed that their uncertainty of not taking Lonzo? Or are you more perplexed that they've worked out Josh Jackson twice instead of Lonzo?
One led to the other.
Yeah.
Because they worked out Lonzo first, and then all of a sudden we're hearing little hints of, he looked out of shape. We're questioning his work ethic. Well, these are deep, dark things that are going on about Lonzo Ball. You're trying to destroy. You're going all the way to question his work ethic.
Right.
And now you're asking the staff at UCLA, why didn't you do that during the season?
Right.
Or what? I don't know what's going on here. Something is going wrong with Lonzo and the Lakers.
Skip, I'm going to be honest with you, and I told you this. When I first saw Josh Jackson play, and I don't really follow college basketball that closely, but I do follow it, I said I thought he was the best player in the country. Mm-hmm. And
I do love him, and I told you during the tournament I love him.
I actually think he's a better player than Lonzo. I think Lonzo.
You can make that case.
I think Lonzo is a better fit for the Lakers.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, Magic Johnson made it abundantly clear that everybody on his team could be had except Brandon Ingram. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to believe that if you take Josh Jackson, you're content with D'Angelo Russell, who's a shoot-first point guard. He's a two-guard masquerading as a point guard. He's like all the other point guards mostly in the West. They're twos masquerading as one. If you want to maximize Brandon Ingram, if you want to maximize Julius Randle, you need a guy that's not concerned about his point total, but his assist total. And he's going to be very unselfish. Magic Johnson was an assist-first, pass-first point guard.
He was.
But he could score because he was 6'9", Skip.
Got it. But Lonzo can do one thing better than Josh can do anything, and that's pass the basketball.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, Foot Locker released a new Father's Day commercial with Lonzo. Let's take a look at it.
With Father's Day and the draft so close together,
Foot Locker asked us to reflect on everything dads do for us
on our journeys to the NBA. Dads are special. So many memories.
All those games of one-on-one in the driveway where he let me win.
Just never missing a game.
Of course, there's that big day when your dad berates your high school coach in front of an entire crowd for not getting you enough touches.
Waking up early to drive to all those faraway tournaments.
Or that special moment when your dad sits you down and tells you where you're going to college. Copyright your name to make it a part of a family lifestyle brand. Went on First Take and shouted back and forth with Stephen A. Smith about how you're already better than the reigning league MVP. All those interviews from the stands during college games, the public spats with the all-time greats, soundbite after soundbite to the national media, and then tells 29 out of 30 teams to not bother drafting you.
And fishing. We went fishing a lot.
Skip, what's your reaction to the commercial?
Man, I loved it. And if I'm Magic Johnson, that would be a turning point for me, because I got to see Lonzo Ball make fun of his father, and he did it deadpan funny. And he came out of his shell, and he showed personality and charisma that I knew was in there somewhere. His father kept saying, you should see him at home.
Right.
But his father has overwhelmed him when they've done joint appearances on Undisputed. And it almost came across like LeVar was the ventriloquist over here speaking for Lonzo.
Right.
And Lonzo would have one-word answers. And all of a sudden, I got to glimpse the real Lonzo Ball in that commercial. And for me, that would close the case. I'd say, that's the guy I want as the face of my franchise.
Skip, I loved it also, and I think we saw more personality in 1 minute than we had seen all year.
You got it.
His dad says he talks a lot. It's hard for me to believe because his dad talks so much, how he gets enough oxygen to get a word in edgewise. Skip, for me, though, even though he did this, I believe he had to have run this by his father. There's no way he would have said this, and because let me tell you how long. You know what? Maybe he didn't. He probably called his dad. He said, "Dad, they want me to do this commercial. What you think?" He's like, "Boy, you getting paid?" He's like, "Hey, do that commercial." Because you know Lonzo about that dollar. Hey, Lonzo's about the baller brand. And he feels this is going to give another opportunity. LeBron got cards, Skip. He got basketball and football and baseball cards.
Sign him.
Yeah, like he hooping. LeBron Ball ain't hooping in 20 years. Skip, I love seeing this side of Lonzo. His dad swears to us that he has a personality, that he is a talker. He just doesn't talk when he's in front of the cameras. As you mentioned, you ought to see him at home. He's talking all the time. We got an opportunity to see for 1 minute what he probably is really, really like when the cameras are not around. And I love seeing this side. I love seeing guys' personality. Whatever it is, if that's you, be you. Because you copyrighted it. Because you can be that, you can be you better than anybody else can be you. So be you. I'm happy to see it, Skip, but I agree with you. To go back to this point, something's not, I don't know what, I'm racking my brain what are they trying to do? You're in the 2 slot. Are you afraid somebody else is going to move up to 1 and take Alonzo? I mean, what are you trying to do here?
And if you do take him, you've sort of destroyed some of his character, his work ethic.
Yeah,
really? Wow.
Because it makes no sense. You said Brandon Ingram. You believe he can flourish. If you have a shoot first point guard, you're never going to maximize Brandon Ingram's ability because the guy's going to try to get his before he gives it to Brandon Ingram. Lonzo Ball, watching him the little bit that I did, Skip, he's not going out to try to score first. He's trying to initiate the offense and give it to the guys. You want to see Brandon Ingram flourish. You want to see Julius Randle flourish. You need a guy, Magic, he's the most like you. He's unselfish with the basketball. The only thing is, he's not as skilled as Magic. Plus, Magic was sick. Magic was a grown man coming out. He came out as a sophomore, Skip, but he was a grown man. That was all 6'9", and we had never seen anything like him before.
Well, but I just saw from this kid, he just became his own man in that commercial.
Yeah, it showed a lot of self-awareness. When you are being talked about the way that he's being talked about and you don't say anything, taking a little jab at yourself, joking at yourself in the situation shows that you're
and
aware of yourself.
And putting his father in his place.
Personality,
and
exactly.
shows he knows what's being said.
Exactly. No mercy. And we're joined by Fox Golf analyst and major champion that played in 18 U.S. Opens, Paul Azinger. Welcome to Undisputed.
Allow me to say about Paul, he's one of the very few good players who can feel and talk golf as insightfully as he played golf. And it is the hardest game in the world to play and to describe sometimes.
Well, I think, you know, it's Like here, I can't even think of what to say now. Golf is a hard game to play, but it's not difficult for me to articulate now that I've removed myself from the game for as long as I've been away. And then I really became more of a student. I was a student of the game, growing up, I guess. And but when you get away from the game and you begin to analyze and start to see what you could have done better and how guys are making mistakes and what guys are doing to be great, I just got to a point where I figured out it wasn't so much what we thought, but how we thought that made the difference. What Nicholas thought and what Trevino thought to get the impact, they were completely different. And so was everybody. However many of us played professionally, but how we thought travels.
Exactly. But it seems like as an analyst, you now have an even greater appreciation for how hard the game is to play at this level that we're about to see it played
That's a fact. A part of me wonders how I even did it. The traveling aspect of it is tough enough. And then, when you come to places like this, venues like this that are new, and you have to go learn it. I think the best players really pride themselves in their ability to figure out the grades, the way the greens slope, and how the ball's going to react when it hits. And it's more like trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle when you're trying to figure it out. And you have to have a philosophy and a strategy before you tee off in these tournaments. But these majors, I don't care who you are, you never know what to expect at a U.S. Open, and you never feel like you're fully prepared. They're out to get you is generally the feeling that you have. The greens are going to be severe. This week they'll be soft because we've had so much rain. But you've seen the rough, and it is. You don't want your ball in that. I've never seen rough that deep in my life. They're big, giant, wide fairways, but that tall fescue is going to be in play. And I think it's going to be a test for the players. 4 par 5s this week. They can play over 600 yards, which is astronomical.
And I did read that you came a couple of weeks ago and walked the golf course and found it was such a long, tough walk that you wound up with shin splints.
I did. I had shin splints. I haven't had shin splints in so long. I get them going up and down hills, but it's a hilly place. There's a lot of uphills. Second shots, too, which unnerves the player. There's 14 of the 18 holes are blind or semi-blind to the player. And that'll unnerve a player a little bit. There's a lot of getting used to this golf course for these guys. They got to figure it out quick. 2 or 3 bad shots in a row at a U.S. Open, and you're done.
Well, let's get started with the defending champ, Dustin Johnson. He's a heavy favorite to defend his crown after finally breaking through at Oakmont a year ago. After a history of near misses at the U.S. Open, DJ overcame a controversial penalty in the final round to win his first career major, and the #1 player in the world has dominated ever since. Paul, how many majors can you see Dustin Johnson winning?
Well, the sky's, it's unlimited for that guy. He's leads the tour in distance. He leads the tour in greens and regulation. #1 player in the world. He's the most confident player since he won the U.S. Open. He's won 5 times, and he's got 9 top 3s. So I think he's probably the most confident player here. He's just had a baby 2 days ago, his wife did, and I think fatherhood really changed Dustin Johnson. I'd interviewed him a couple of weeks back, and I'd never really interviewed anybody. I was kind of nervous about it because he can give you that one-word answer pretty fast. And but I talked to his agent. His agent said he's never heard him say anything bad about anybody ever. And he's just a terrific guy. I really root for Dustin Johnson. I always kind of rooted for Dustin Johnson, but more now since I know him a little bit. He can overpower the place, and he's probably the only guy in the field that really could intimidate a little bit. Gone are the days when guys could intimidate other players. Social media's changed that, I feel. They're all congratulating each other, and give me a break, man.
You don't seem like a big fan of that.
Well, I don't. I mean, I'm a little more of an old school thinker in that regard. I mean, you could go pat a guy in the back and congratulate him, but when you're doing it on social media, it's more of a I don't know, it's like brand building something, and it's just different.
How many? I'm gonna say conservative because I'm gonna say 3. Because my question is, will he take advantage of the talent? As you mentioned, he can overpower the golf course. He can hit the ball 350, 360 yards on a good day. He's probably the most talented golfer that we've seen since Tiger. I agree with you, Paul. The days of I got Tiger, you take the field, those days are over. I don't believe we'll ever see a situation like that again. The questions that I have, and I think a lot of people have for Dustin Johnson is, will he have the mental focus, tournament in, tournament out, especially at these majors? We've seen the distraction that he's had off the course. We know we don't need to get into that. He shows up at the Masters this year, and somehow he falls down the step. I treat majors tournaments in golf like the lottery. You can't win if you don't play.
That's right.
So he had no chance of winning the Masters because he wasn't in it. That's my question. We saw him miss, a 4-foot putt a couple of years ago to get into a playoff. And that's what it takes. and I'm not the biggest golf aficionado. Skip is that guy. Talk to my brother. He's a big golfing fan. But I know this. In order for you to win major tournaments and to win them consistently, you have to be focused for 4 straight rounds. You can play great one day and then shoot yourself out of the tournament the next.
You know, I agree 100%. Dustin Johnson came out of college the second-ranked amateur in the world. He won his first tournament on tour. He won again the next year. Now he's got 10 straight years where he's won a tournament. So he's learned how to think. Coming out of college, I asked him in the interview, who taught you how to think? And he thinks his college coach really helped him as much as anything. But, you know, he failed a lot. And it's not always what you accomplish that matters. Sometimes it's what you overcome.
Right.
And for him to lose the way he lost in such dramatic fashion in 2015 and come back and win in 2016, something snapped, something flipped in a positive manner for that guy, and he's learned really how to think. And so when I interviewed him, he said to me that it was his focus. The most cliche thing we ever talk about is never getting ahead of yourself.
Right.
And he said, I never got ahead of myself. It's the best I've ever focused. And, you know, they came up to him on the 12th hole on Sunday. He had a 2-shot lead, and they said, we're going to relook at your ball moving on 5, and we may give you a penalty. But he said that I asked him, what was that like for you? And he said, you know, I just put it behind me. I just figured out, why should I worry about what I did on number 5? I'm on number 12. And he stayed in that moment. And that's the hardest thing for a good player to do. It's the great challenge in life, really. Anxiety comes from the future. And, you know, it can be a result of what's happened to you in the past. And then you project it to the future. And if ever anybody could have projected some anxiety into the future, it would have been that guy. But he didn't allow himself to get ahead of himself, and that was his great strength. And I think he's going to maintain that. He's proven he can maintain it because he's won 5 times since.
Right.
And he won 3 in a row going into the Masters. What a terrible thing for him to slip and fall. You know, I think he had a deep bruise in his back that he couldn't function. And he says now his elbow still hurts from that fall, but it doesn't affect his golf.
As Shannon knows, I've long been a huge golf fan. And yet, unfortunately, the 2 biggest recent stories in golf to me were, number 1, Tiger's mugshot, and number 2, news that Tiger had just gone through a 4th back surgery in 4 years, and this one the most serious of all. So it's highly possible we've sort of seen the last of Tiger as far as competing in these events, being a big factor in a major championship. It's been, the 08 Open since he won a major. So I look at Dustin Johnson as the biggest new lightning rod who could come closest to filling the Tiger void. He's obviously not going to ever be Tiger Woods, but I'm seeing some physical genius in this guy, even though he's almost 33 years of age, that he's starting to come to grips with, because as an athlete, he's close to Tiger, maybe closest to Tiger. And obviously, for a while, I thought, well, I know he can blast it 400 yards, but is he just really that 6'4" brute who's capable of making the big mistake at the big moment, taking the big penalty at the worst moment? And now I'm starting to say, wait a second, there's a real gift here for shot making that could make him, if he could start closing these deals that he hasn't closed, he could reel off a couple of majors, 3 majors in a row. What if he wins out the rest of this year? I know it's a tall order. At least we would have something to help bridge the gap that Tiger left in golf.
There's no bridging that gap, I don't think. And you got to win your second one before you can win your third one.
I agree. He's got one.
And and you just go one at a time, and you tally it up at the end. But he is a physical genius. He's physically smart, and he can get it done. He's a great athlete, but he's also surrounded himself with great people. And just through observation, you've got to be able to learn from Wayne Gretzky, don't you?
Right.
I think the big misnomer when you see greatness like we saw out of Tiger or we see out of Wayne Gretzky is that somehow they were groomed for it, or they were just great natural athletes. And the same things with Dustin. Oh, he's a natural athlete, he's groomed for it and all that. But that's not true. Gretzky's dad, Buck interviewed Gretzky's dad, and he took offense to the idea that Wayne Gretzky wasn't the hardest worker. Wayne Gretzky was the hardest worker. Tiger was the hardest worker. That's just a fact. And then Tiger became a mental giant. When you converge the artist and the engineer like Tiger did, and you become a mental giant, there's no stopping that. And he had this militaristic approach to the way he played. We'll never see that again. But I think it's unfair to say just because Dustin is such a great athlete that he's somehow groomed for it and groomed to be great. Dude, you got to become a mental giant or it's not going to happen. And that's where Dustin Johnson, although he knew how to think, there was another level for Dustin Johnson. So he can observe Gretzky. Butch Harmon's his coach. People forget Butch Harmon won on tour. He knows how to think. And one of the things Butch did with Dustin, he's got this weird position at the top. No one, you see that back in our era?
He gets there.
You'd say that dude's got no chance.
Yeah.
but he's got a lot of chance, and he's a heck of a player. But Butch never changed his swing, which was brilliant on Butch's part. And I think Butch has really helped Dustin Johnson learn how to succeed at the highest level. And you got to have the guts of a burglar to continue to get in contention when you're a guy that's had that kind of failure. You have to be willing to stick your neck out, willing to be in that spotlight. Not everybody's got that intangible, but Dustin does. He doesn't shy away from that big stage, I guess they say, and that's something a lot of people will shy away from. You know, you get a couple fails and you're like, man, I don't even know if I want to be in that spot ever again. Why should I? You know what it's like.
Yeah, yeah.
Why should I be there? Why should I do that to myself? And the anxiety on Saturday night, it's palatable. Your brain never shuts off. Jordan Spieth's got a safe house. That doesn't shut his brain off. The safe house is you can't talk about golf this week in his house. You can't talk golf. But that brain's going, man. It never stops.
Well, Dustin Johnson may be the favorite, but the most popular bets in Vegas have been placed on Ricky Fowler and Jon Rahm, who just teed off in the same group a few minutes ago. Fowler is one of the most popular players in the game and arguably the best to never win a major. But after finishing tied for second at the U.S. Open 3 years ago, Ricky has missed the cut each of the last 2 years. So, Paul, are you surprised at all the bets on Fowler?
A little bit. I mean, I don't. What do you go off at? What were his odds? Second bet is
12 to 1.
12 to 1. I mean, you know, I don't think 12 to 1's a good bet on anybody with my money. Tiger was going off at even money back in the day. You remember that? And so Dustin's off at 7 to 1. I don't know. Ricky can definitely win any week, anywhere. He's not afraid of anybody. Everybody knows everybody out here, and nobody's afraid of anybody anymore. So you really just have to go beat the golf course up. And he's got the length off the tee. He carries it a mile, and he's one of the best putters you'll ever lay eyes on. So he's just got to do it. He finished second in 3 of the 4 majors one year. You know, he's in contention in every one of them and never pulled it off, whether he was unlucky or somebody just outplayed him. But Ricky Fowler has seen a lot of his friends win majors. He plays with those guys all the time. And when you see guys that you play with all the time that you know you can beat winning major championships, it has a positive effect on you, not a negative effect. It makes you realize and have that self-belief, I can do that. And it's just a matter of dealing with it and getting it done.
You know what? I like Ricky. And earlier, you know, we picked, I think he went with DJ, I went with Ricky Fowler. Mm-hmm. And, you know, maybe he is just a late bloomer. We saw Sergio Garcia win his first major a couple of years ago. We saw Adam Scott. Phil didn't win majors. Bubba Watson didn't win majors until later in their career. We've had 6 first-time winners the last 6 majors. So why not Ricky Fowler? Why not here? Why not now? Keep it in the fairway, as you mentioned. The rough is extremely. I'm looking at the grass. I'm like, this looks like grass that I cut as a child growing up in my backyard. You're definitely not hitting a golf ball out of that. But if he keeps the ball in the fairway and gives himself an opportunity on Sunday, and that's what you have to do. You have to be in contention, because I don't know if they're going to come back. Everybody's. You even said you think they're going to go low, at least especially today, because of the weather's been so wet and the conditions are very favorable. But if Ricky can get to Sunday and be in contention, I like him to come down the stretch.
So here's my issue with Ricky Fowler. I like him very much personally, but so far, his marketing brand has far outweighed his achievements on the course. And there are a lot of folks out there who just love them some Ricky because they're rooting for him because he has sartorial charisma, unlike anyone since the late, great Payne Stewart, because he is fearless in his attire. And it's stunning what he'll pull off with his pastels. But that has made him highly popular, and he hasn't been able to quite back that up yet. And Paul, my issue, we just talked about DJ at 6'4". Ricky's a small man. He's about half a DJ's size, and I think over time it wears on him just his size, that he can't compete with that kind of length, even though, as you say, he carries a long ways for his size. But it seems like he's always right there on the doorstep, and he just can't quite, he's not that guy to take over golf.
He's let a couple real good opportunities get away and slip through his fingers, but that golf ball doesn't know how big you are, and he hits it a mile. I know he can fly at 300 in the air at that size. He creates tons of club head speed, and he's got Butch Harmon with him as well. And you know, the key for Ricky is to not get out in front of himself, to stay in the moment. That's the key for all of us. And you know, you gotta. He knows he's capable of doing it. He's underachieved, in my opinion, because he's such a great putter and has such a great short game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And he drives it great. But he's right now, Ricky Fowler would probably admit that he's underachieved. But he has built a fine brand, and he's making a fortune off the golf course. And, you know, for some guys, maybe it's just about that. I don't think for Ricky it is, though. I think Ricky wants to win as badly as he wants to brand build. And but that burden of proof's on you. I went through it for a few months. and became the best player not to win a major. And it was just it's one of those things. The media's going to put it on you, and there's nothing you can do to get away from it. But you got to take it head on. You got to face it head on and be willing to
Skip, in Texas, they call that big hat, no cattle.
Be sure to catch Call on our U.S. Open coverage here on FS1 starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for joining us. No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on Channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Tomorrow is our last podcast for the week. I'm Joy Taylor. Make sure to listen in Friday. Fox Sports, one of one.